if you're trying to run a marathon or go mountain biking or whatever, you essentially for that period of time, you put yourself into a stressful place. So you are going into a sympathetic nervous system. You are basically increasing cortisol, which means you decrease testosterone. There's a reason that I'm telling you all this. But the point is that I ignored him. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then he was like, you're not getting the results because you're not doing this stuff. And I'm like, I'm doing better than this stuff. I'm running instead of walking. He's like, no, there's a reason why I'm telling you to walk. And he went through a lot of the science that I briefly mentioned. He went through a lot of things like that to help me understand what was happening, that my body was holding on to the belly fat purposefully because it was saying, oh shit, Adam's might kill himself. What is Adam running from? Why is Adam so stressed? I've got to build up a lot of fat so that in case we need to keep him fed for the winter, I can have these reserves already on the body and he won't have to worry. So I decided to listen to him finally and started doing my walks, and it became a beautiful thing. It became a beautiful thing because I would get out every single day. I'm a podcaster. I do podcasts all day. On some of the days I'll do podcasts, several hours on Wednesday usually. And so I'll do podcast. And then I started to just block out my noon. I blocked out lunchtime, and I decided to make my lunchtime be a time that I would just go on a walk in the neighborhood next to my office. So I had an office. Now I have a home office, but back then I had an office, and I would turn off the computer somewhere between 11 and 12. And I would do a walk as long as I could possibly go. So if I had 2 hours available, I would do about an hour and a half of a walk. And if I had only 1 hour available, if I got done with my last appointment, let's say at noon, and my next one started at 1, then I would do something like a 45-minute walk. So I would just shut off the computer. I would get out of the office, away from my fake lights that I was looking at, were my computer screen with my 3 computer screens, and I would just get outside. And for me, I would also take off my shirt to get a little bit of a suntan and get extra vitamin D when weather was okay. And I would just walk down the neighborhood and back. And an interesting thing happened. I started to make more money in my business. I started having a lot of fun. I started really feeling a lot more energy, and the gut that I was trying to get rid of, it melted away more quickly than anything else that I had tried. It was just these walks.